This is an egg, and you're about to understand not only how this is used in one of the most ruthless psychological experiments of all time, but also how it's one of the greatest predictors of success. This is what it looked like before, but all you need to know right now is I'm gonna be sitting here in front of this egg for the next 24 hours with absolutely no food, water, or sleep, while my friends are about to make this a lot harder. This is $500. Take this $500 and go buy me food. With a budget of $500, it was their job to buy my favorite food and beverages that they would put in front of me for the whole time, while I basically starved myself to try and survive for 24 hours straight. And you're probably wondering why I'm doing this to myself in the first place.
Oh man, those smell really good.
If you've ever felt hungry enough, you may have felt unable to resist any food sitting in front of you. In fact, sometimes it's so hard that in 1972, a professor at Stanford University conducted an experiment where he would leave a child in a room by themselves with nothing but a marshmallow.
Tyler, got you something.
They all had the choice to take it and eat it or wait and receive double the amount later. The interesting thing that occurred though is what happened with the kids that decided to wait. Now before I can explain that part, to truly try out this experiment for myself, I would need to take it to the next level. This is why instead of just one marshmallow, I was gonna have a constant supply of my favorite foods in front of me, cooked right in my own kitchen so the smell would make things even tougher. At this point, I was starting to feel thirsty, definitely starting to feel hungry. However, I had no idea how much harder it would become once I started feeling tired.
Congratulations, you're nearly 6 hours in, but we got 5 candles.
Thank you. But if it wasn't hard enough, this is where the boys came up with another twist.
So if you eat any food, then you also have to eat a cricket.
A cricket.
The whole thing.
You have to eat the whole thing.
If you end up sleeping, you have to eat a waxworm. And then if you end up getting thirsty, we got you some soldier grubs.
There was no more room for error. Even if I wanted to, I had to force myself to sit there and observe the changes that began to happen to my body. The first thing I started to notice is what was happening with my mind, specifically with my concentration. I would try and focus on something. However, I would find myself fixated in a few minutes back onto the food. It was getting late into the evening, I'd already missed breakfast and lunch, and soon it would be time for dinner. There's one thing you should know about me. I really like eating meats, high in protein and usually helps fill me right up. And there's always been one thing that I've wanted to try but have never gotten the chance.
Oh, that smells so good. Until you smell these, Tyler.
Alright, I'm gonna cook these Wagyus up.
Getting this dish at a restaurant can run you up several $100s. It's been something I've always wanted to try but never had the chance to. Not only was it going to make it even harder to get through the challenge as it sat there in front of me, but it reminded me of a memory that I had not long ago. For me, I've always looked at nice food as somewhat of a luxury. Growing up, I always told myself I wanted to do something great with my life, so I spent all my time and money building up my foundation for success.
I've literally never had Wagyu in my life.
The problem was, I've never had a job. When I would go out with my friends, I would watch in amazement when they would buy a $5 meal without checking their bank accounts to see if it was empty.
Yo, I don't know how the heck you're doing this. It's teasing me just coming upstairs and looking at this.
Right, bro?
For me at the time, what was more important was to continue pushing forwards to learn everything I could, dreaming of the day that I'd be able to buy myself a meal, knowing it wouldn't cost a large portion of everything I owned. I knew somehow back then if I could just push through the struggle, I would be rewarded hopefully with something greater than I could possibly imagine.
Tyler, are you feeling tired yet? Well, I got something for you.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm not feeling tired.
Yeah, we got some energy drinks for you, bro.
The sun had set and I was barely halfway done. My stomach was growling and the tiredness was soon to kick in. I could barely focus on anything other than the food and was trying to distract myself in any way possible. In the original experiment, something interesting happened with the kids who were able to resist the urge to eat the first marshmallow.
In fact, they actually followed up with the kids several years later and found that the ones that were able to delay gratification the most were the most successful in the long run.
And in this extreme experiment I've set up on myself, I needed to prove to myself I would be able to power through. I needed to show my younger self that he still had what it took to keep growing. As the night went on and my team fell asleep, I was left to sit there, barely awake, starving, but doing everything I could to keep pushing on. This is where things started to get a lot harder than I expected. So by now I'm sure you're wondering, how does this egg actually define success? In order to understand this, I need to tell you a story. Here I am, 17 hours into another insanely difficult challenge to try and prove that you could do anything that you set your mind to. What I want to really show you right now is all the effort that goes into the behind the scenes of these videos to try and make the best videos possible. Because sometimes, just like having to wait just to touch all of these really good things, while I'm filming this video, I'm not gonna know the result. That being said, it's not about the result, it's about the effort that's important. Here, pass me the camera for a second. Behind me, this is my friend Nick. It's literally his birthday today, and he's up at 5 a.m. helping us film this video so that we could make the best video possible for you guys.
Still in the game.
But the reason that we're doing this is to prove to you guys in every single video that you are capable of more than you think.
Hey Tyler, you want a pizza?
You're probably wondering if what I'm doing is actually healthy. There's an interesting answer, but to fully understand, it's important to look at each aspect. I wouldn't recommend going 24 hours without water, and while it shouldn't cause too much harm, sleep is a little bit of a different story. Even 1 hour less per night can cause significant impairment, and staying up for 24 hours straight in some cases can even lead to hallucination. Like, going so bad. Like, look at this meatball. It's disgusting. I mean, I'd still eat it. I'm starving. Like, the tacos, they smell great, but like, the meat's going black. I'm so hungry. Soon it came down to the final hour. My mind was spinning, and each second seemed to slow down with the thought of eventually being able to eat everything in front of me. This is the moment I'd waited for, and now it wasn't even about passing the challenge. It wasn't about being able to eat and shut down that gnawing feeling inside of my stomach. It was about what this represented to success. Proving to myself that if I can push through this, I'll be able to push through any obstacle that life will throw my way.
Wait, what happened to the timer?
We got like a minute left. Chrome crashed. What might shock you is I didn't eat or drink the morning before the challenge. So for me, it's actually been 37 hours since I've had anything to eat or drink.